Swazdula, you knuckleheads, how the hell are you? Hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, a bit of a, I don't know, serious video, I guess. I spent much of yesterday being upset, again, with YouTube. Reading through their ridiculous terms of service and all of that stuff, and filing appeals against their seemingly arbitrary demonetization tactics. But I digress. I'm going to get to that later. Essentially, I might as well quit YouTube and Twitch and the whole Ashisugi thing at this point. Since November, I've been making a lot less money. I hate the topic of money, and this is really a video that I didn't ever want to have to do. But fact of the matter is, if I don't make this video and we don't talk about this stuff, this channel isn't going to last very long. So, kinda have to. And I hate it. But anyway, that's beside the point. Anywho, since November, I've been making roughly half of what I usually make. Now, it's against terms of service or whatever for YouTubers to disclose how much they make exactly with YouTube, right? Which is kind of funny, because the only reason why it's not allowed, and this is the reasoning by YouTube themselves, is because they don't want people to catch on to how their algorithms work exactly. The only reason why I can imagine that they'd have something against that is if they're actually doing something shady. Big brain. But, okay, whatever. I can tell you guys how much I make with YouTube, Twitch streams, and Patreon combined, okay? All three of those sources combined, because then there's no way for anyone to know how much of that is exactly YouTube, how much is this, okay? I'll tell you what I used to make first. I used to make around, just under $1,000, okay? With all of those three things, sources of income combined, okay? Under $1,000. Which was okay. Not great, but okay. It was enough to just kind of get by. Let's put it that way, right? Wasn't easy, but it worked, you know? More would have been better because, you know, more comfort, not having to worry about, oh shit, the car needs a new battery or something. Goddamn. Well, now I'm screwed. You know, that would have been nice. But anyways, since November or so, that number has been going down. And right now, I'm somewhere around $500. Now, my rent alone is 700 euros. So you can see that that's a bit of an issue, right? And the reason for that, for the most part, from what I can tell, is YouTube is just arbitrarily demonetizing videos. Now, here's the thing, and this is why I'm kind of like in war with YouTube. If YouTube would make a concise decision and distinction as to why this video is demonetized and this one is not, then I wouldn't even be mad. But YouTube essentially just says, oh, this video isn't suitable for all advertisers. Click, then they give you a nice little yellow button and you essentially make pennies off of that video. Where before you should have made, I don't know, let's say $50 or something, right? So there's no explanation there whatsoever. And I read through what the advertiser-friendly agreement reads exactly, what a violation of that would be. And there were things in there like strong sexually suggestive themes and whatnot, language and stuff like that. You know, some of the things I'm like, I guess I get that. But then there's like the language. I mean, honestly, at least be consistent, you know? If it's the language, for example, then why the hell isn't every other video demonetized I don't mean to provoke anybody here and be like, oh yeah, you're right, let's demonetize everything. I'm just saying, it doesn't look right, okay? This is like the whole Warframe partnership all over again, right? So, YouTube has essentially been flagging my content as non-advertiser friendly without providing any sort of reasoning as to why. You know, because that could potentially help me avoid doing that thing again in the next videos. No. They don't do that. They're just like, nah, fuck you. So, yeah. And that's big bad. That's really, really bad. Because all of this whole YouTube, Twitch thing and whatnot, this is my full-time job. I dedicated myself to it a little over a year ago, and I've been loving it ever since. Loved it before that, too. Right? And I put full-time hours into this channel and Twitch as well. So on an average week, I put in somewhere between 35 and 60 hours of work, right? A regular daytime job or full-time job is somewhere around 40 hours. So you can imagine if I have to stop what I'm doing now and find a normal job. Perhaps in my profession I have a master's degree in construction, so I go back to construction work. If I have to replace YouTube with a normal full-time job, no more YouTube, no more streams. There's just no way I can have the time. And I'm sorry that I don't make Life of Rio videos. And no, this isn't me stabbing at Life of Rio. I have nothing against the man. Rio, if you're watching this, like, I don't know, you're just the perfect example of the difference between what content I make and what content you make. So, whereas a person, a content creator like Rio, literally only has to record himself talking for up to 20 minutes, and then record some random Warframe footage or Dauntless footage or any other kind of footage for the same amount of time, throw it in the video editing software, and then upload it. If I would make content like that, I could make 3 videos a day, easy peasy, just because it doesn't take a lot of time to make that. Again, I'm not jabbing at anybody. It's just a fact. My content takes a lot more time, hence why I invest full-time hours into it. So having a full-time job, or hell, even a part-time job on the side, there's just no way I can balance the two, right? So what can we do to remedy this issue? Well, I really hate to say it. I really do. Like, guys, you can ask some of the patrons that I have, or a lot of people on the Discord that are a little bit closer to me, how reluctant I am to talk about this stuff. I really hate it. I'd almost rather die. And I have actually starved in the past for that reason, because I really don't like speaking about this thing. But the only thing that can actually be done to make sure that this channel can continue doing what it's doing, because I am sure as shit not going to start making My Little Pony videos. I am not going to start videos with Swazdula, you lovely jelly beans, how are you doing today? Here's Harrow. Harrow is a wonderful frame, but maybe not for everybody. No, fuck that. I wear my heart on my sleeve. You guys have come to know me as a YouTuber who is straightforward with you guys. I say what I feel, the way I feel it, and I will not succumb and bend over to anybody, not even YouTube. So if I feel like saying shit is in order, I'm going to say shit, okay? And YouTube just demonetizing stuff, saying it's not suitable, the whole thing is just ridiculous anyway. This channel is made for a mature audience. This channel is set for adults, right? So when I say shit bitch fuck, then I don't see why YouTube's like, no, that's not suitable for kids. You think? But anyway, the only way that we can fix this is to somehow bring my revenue back up. Now, I'm already doing everything that I can on the YouTube front. I've sent them an email, I've filed complaints and whatnot. Now I just have to wait until they get back to me and see what happens. But something really needs to happen, like, now. And the only way that we can do that is if we somehow increase my revenue to the point where I can continue making YouTube videos regardless of how much I make there, or don't make. That's pretty much the gist of it. So I would highly recommend that you guys become patrons. Now we're going to get to the patron part. I know it might be a disgusting topic and whatnot, but fact of the matter is, if you care, then you must be watching this video, because if you don't, this channel is going to die. Patreon, there's a link in the description, by the way. You can go over there and check everything out. You can do your research on Patreon if you want to. Maybe I'm going to pretend as if you've never ever heard of Patreon. You guys don't know what it is at all, and just explain a little bit, okay? So Patreon is essentially a tip jar, if you will. It's a page where you guys can directly support your favorite content creators, or content creators you think are worthy or whatever, for whatever amount of money they have set up. I like using, I've talked about this on stream a lot, I like using painters or artists in general as an example. Artists who do, let's say, speed drawings on YouTube, they may use Patreon to upload a live feed of their paintings and have comments with their patrons, right? And for that service, for that like extra backstage access, so to speak, patrons will pay $1 or $2.50 or whatever tier the creator put in place, right? I don't have any tiers, so for as little as $1 lousy a month, you guys can become a patron and support me directly. You do get something in return for it too, but I'll get to that in a second. For as little as $1 lousy a month, you guys can support me directly via Patreon. And the great thing about Patreon, and why I will always recommend Patreon, not just for me, but for any of your favorite content creators, doesn't matter who it is. If you are thinking of another content creator right now where you're like, I like this person, maybe I should check out if they have a Patreon as well. By all means, do that. Patreon is a wonderful thing. The great thing about Patreon is that they are super
Oh look,
fair.
I'm your follower, peasant.
More than just fair, actually. In fact, Patreon is so great. I'll compare it with, let's say, Twitch Prime, or not Twitch Prime, but Twitch subscriptions. So if you subscribe to me, which you can also do with a Twitch subscription, you pay, I think, $4.99 or something, right? That's just how Twitch subscriptions work. And from that money, half of it goes into my pocket, and the other half, it goes to Twitch, okay? You know, to keep the site alive and whatnot and everything. That is a big chunk of your money, I realize that, but at least it's fair. It's split exactly in the middle, right? So at least we got that going on for Twitch. In fact, if you have Amazon Prime, and you link your Amazon Prime and your Twitch accounts, you can subscribe for free. So it won't cost you a single cent, nothing. But I'll still get that $2.50. So that's definitely a way that you can support me and, you know, by extension the channel for free entirely. But for a lot of people that don't have Amazon Prime, they pay the $4.99, half of it goes to me, and the other half goes to Twitch. Fair as that may be, it's still half of the money just kind of like poof out the window, right? In a sense. Then you have the YouTube membership thingamadoodad. If you look under this video right now, somewhere at the bottom right, you'll probably see a join button. And with this join button, it's essentially the same thing as a Twitch Prime or Twitch subscription. You pay $1, I don't know what it is, $1.20 or $1.50 or whatever, and you put that money directly into my pocket, more or less, and YouTube takes their cut. I don't think they deserve the cut, though, because they're assholes, but that's beside the point, okay? And with Patreon, they do the same thing. They also take their cut from whatever it is you pledge. That's totally up to you. They also take their cut, but it's like 8% or something like that, or 13% or something. It's really low. It's really low. So if you donate $1, let's say, to me, only 8 cents of that dollar is taken by Patreon, because they only take enough to keep the whole site alive and running, right? Which is amazing. I mean, that's just wonderful. It's a godsend. Thank goodness Patreon exists. If Patreon didn't exist, a lot of channels wouldn't be a thing, including my own. So I would highly recommend, and I'm going to ask you guys, I'm almost begging here, I'm going to ask you guys to consider becoming a patron, okay? Because it's safe and it's fair, it's just as established as, I don't know, PayPal is or something and whatnot, and it is the only way to keep me alive. There are a lot of you Right now, at the time of recording this video, the channel has 106,000 subscribers, which is like already insane. So imagine if only 10% of you guys, only 10%, right, would become a patron for one single dollar. You could do more if you want to, and can. That's a-okay, but I mean, no need to get greedy. If 1,000 of you guys, or 5,000 of you guys, or even 10,000 of you guys, or hell, even all of you, were to become patrons for $1, I don't need 50 people who are like donating $5 or something. You can do that. I'm just saying I'm not greedy, okay? So it would be wonderful if you guys could consider doing that, at least, okay? It's just $1 a month. It's no scam or anything like that. There are no hidden costs or anything. You can cancel it on a whim whenever the hell you want. It's very concise and very simple and very easy. Again, you don't have to take my word for it because, I mean, there is a conflict of interest here. Of course I'll tell you that there's no scam involved, but you can read up on it yourself. You know, Google Patreon and you can see for yourself. A side thing, the patrons that I have right now currently, because I talk to them a lot and I'm like, guys, what do you guys want me to do and whatnot? I have them vote on what is going to be the next How to Not Be Shit Warframe video, for example, and stuff like that. And I speak to them a lot and they're like, yo, Jizo, we're not supporting you because we want extra content. We're supporting you because we want you to keep doing what you're doing. And I'm like, hey, fam, that's so sweet. Damn, y'all so nice. That's wonderful. But if I can give you extra content of some sort, I'm gonna do that. Which is why on Patreon there is a Cooking with Jizo episode. It's going to be a season. Oh, not a season, a series. But right now I only have one episode up there. I have a bunch of quests, first time playthrough, that I did. Shadow Warrior, I did a couple of Let's Play episodes, which were ridiculous. And some extra stuff like that. So I do try to put in some extra stuff on Patreon, but to be very, very clear, I'd almost recommend that if the only reason why you would even consider becoming a patron is for extra content, then don't. Because like I said, YouTube and Twitch is already my full-time job and takes up most of my time. So putting up extra content on Patreon is going to be scarce, okay? But at least you'll have the peace of mind that you're making sure that I can continue making the content that I make for you guys the way that I make it, with that signature Jizo style, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's what you would get in return for it. You also get a like little role on the Discord server and whatnot, which is all not super relevant. The most relevant thing is, though, however, there are a lot of you, okay? And if all of us come together and help out, then this channel will be saved. If right now on the Patreon, I have a Patreon goal of 500. I had reduced that a couple of months ago because the channel was doing really well and streams were doing really well, so I reduced it down to 500. I'm going to have to increase that back up to what the goal is. Don't worry about the goal. If you happen to see, I think you guys will be able to see it on Patreon. If you happen to see that we exceed that number, don't worry about it. Like I said, guys, I'm not a greedy person, okay? If I would get a job in my profession as a, well, you know, construction worker with a master's degree in the field, I could be making way more than I do with YouTube and Twitch and Patreon combined. Like, a lot more, right? But I love making content. I really love the whole YouTubing thing, the whole Twitch thing and whatnot. It's a bitch sometimes, like right now, but ultimately I do still love it, and I would like to continue being a content creator for another couple years, or longer even, right? I would really love that. And quite frankly, I'd rather make less money but do something that makes me happy rather than do something that makes me unhappy but makes me rich. I don't know. How much worth can this possibly have if this and this here is messed up? You know what I mean? I learned that lesson the hard way a long time ago. So yeah, anyways, what I was getting at, if we would exceed the Patreon thing, right? And instead of having a necessary, let's say 1,000 patrons or something, and you guys see that it's like 3 or 4 or 5,000, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal because I'm gonna be the next Mr. Beast if that is the case. Don't you worry about it, fam. I would love to raid people and donate $1,000 just on a whim, just to put that smile on their face and mess with them a little bit. You know, those kind of things. I've spoken about this on stream very, very often. I'm going to not in this video, not to drag it out any longer. But God, I'd love to do that. In any case, what I'm saying is don't worry if it's like too much or something. I'm not going to become a Donald Trump or something and start living in decadence or something because I could. No, I would somehow do something creative with the excess money, let's say. So yeah, long story, very, very, very long story, short. I need patrons. If YouTube continues, and this seems to be the case because it's been consistent since November, if YouTube continues to randomly demonetize my videos, then I'm not going to be able to do YouTube as a job for much longer. I will have to get a full-time job doing something else, and then I won't have the time for YouTube anymore. And the only way to remedy that situation, the only way to save the channel is if you guys become a patron. Okay? If you need to, if you're too young or something, you don't have an account or whatever, show this video to someone who does. Show your parents if you need to. It doesn't matter. You know, hell, if your parents are worried about it, tell them to hit me up on Discord. Use your Discord to hit me up and I'll set them straight personally. It's fine. It's totally fine. Like I said, Patreon is a godsend for content creators. It's 100% safe. It's more than fair because the vast majority of your money goes straight to your content creator rather than getting split in very odd and peculiar ways for the provider themselves and whatnot. So it's super, super fair. You have the biggest bang for your buck. Again, the only thing better than that is if you have Amazon Prime, then you can subscribe to my Twitch for free, completely for free, right? But if you have $1, if you have a spare lousy $1 a month and you don't mind, and you care enough to help save the channel and everything and allow me to continue doing what I love doing, then hit me up on Patreon. The link it will be down in the description. If I can set it up, I'll probably have it at the end of this video too, which is now. So yeah. I do apologize for this kind of shitty video because I really hate this topic and I don't want to talk about it. I really don't. But at this point, I have to. You know, I really have to. I'm pretty much backed into a corner here, creator-wise. So yeah, join our Discord server too if you want to get a little bit closer to me or a little bit more personal or whatever, because I essentially live on Discord. And yeah, I hope to see you guys on Patreon. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Do it in the comment section if you want to, and I'll answer it there so that other people can read the responses there as well. Or if you want to get more one-on-one, then just hit me up on Discord and I'll talk to you and set the record straight or whatever, answer any questions. And like I said, you don't need to worry. Patreon is 100% fine and legit and safe. And you can cancel your pledge, whatever it may be, at any given time. It's not hidden. There's a very obvious button where you just say cancel pledge or whatever it's called. It's super, super easy. So, yeah. God, I feel so gross now. I feel so gross now. Anyway, guys, I hope to catch you guys over on Patreon or in the next video. Until then, stay healthy and safe. Take care of yourselves, and peace the heck out. I see what you're doing, YouTube. Bye, guys.